Welcome to the Soulcery Podcast, your sacred space to delve into spiritual tools, topics, and practices that will illuminate your path of soul remembering and healing. I'm your host, Lígia Costa, a soul guide, alchemist, soul writing coach, and the creator of the Trust Pathway. I'm deeply grateful to have you here with me. Together, we'll embark on a profound exploration of self-discovery and healing, unlocking the secrets that lie within. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Soulcery Podcast. And today we are diving deep into a conversation that is both foundational and also transformational. And it's all about healing. Because I believe, and I keep on saying, that healing is not a destination. Healing is not a one and done thing. It's a lifelong journey. And one that begins with awareness and reflection. So, let's walk this path together and let's talk about why healing is so essential. What are the myths and mistakes that we are doing and that is keeping us stuck? And also how we can heal and find the truth of our emotions. Okay, so just buckle up and let's get started. Healing is, in my view, a gateway to rediscovering who we truly are and also who we are beneath the layers of pain, of fear, of inherited beliefs that are not even ours, but because of conditioning, because of the way we were brought up, we took it as our own. And without awareness, you can't begin to really see these patterns for what they are and what they do to the way you feel and the way you behave. And that is holding you back from growing, from healing, and for being your authentic self. And I also believe that reflection is the key to this awareness. But let me clarify something up front. Reflection isn't just sitting still and meditating. And this is one of the misconceptions, that you just reflect, you just sat on a corner of a room or at a desk, just scribbling around or just pondering about life, and you're still or you're meditating and just pondering on things. Because it's not about picturing a perfect life, or it's not about getting tangled up in the webs of our past. Healing isn't peaceful and isn't just this pristine, enlightened thing. It's messy, right? It's raw. It's often very painful. And you don't often see the ugly truths shed publicly, do you? Instead, we are surrounded by curated perfection, which can make you question if your own struggles mean you are doing something wrong, if you are failing, or if you are simply not enough. But you are enough just as you are. And the pain and the mess is all part of the process, okay? So let's address this common myth that healing is about erasing pain or bypassing it, because that's not it. And I see it so many times and I can't tell you how this is like my pet peeve. When I see people just inspiring people just, to say affirmations and think positive. And the problem is your mindset and you have to change the narrative. Yes, you do have to change the narrative. Yes, you can say affirmations. But if you don't do the root of the healing, if you don't go to the root, if you don't heal that, it doesn't matter how many affirmations you say. It doesn't matter how you change the narrative and make it look more like a fairy tale. It will not stick. Because deep down, you will not believe it. And if you don't believe it, it will create this resentment towards yourself that you don't have what it takes to make it work. That something in you is broken or wrong, and that's why everybody else can do it but you. So no, healing is not about erasing pain or bypassing it. It's about facing it head on, okay? And one of the biggest mistakes is when you bottle up emotions. Because society teaches us to suppress our feelings, to hide our wounds and pretend that they don't exist. But bottling up our emotions just make it fester. Just keep us in this cycle of hurt and disconnection. And then there are the false core beliefs that come with it. Those lies that we all carry to some degree. I'm not good enough, which is born from the fear of rejection or disapproval. I'm not lovable, which is tied to the fear of disappointment and vulnerability. I'm not worthy, which is rooted in the fear of failure or even success. And these beliefs shape how you see yourself and how you interact with the world. They make it easy to project your pain onto others, to blame external factors, or to ignore the very triggers that point to your wounds. But when it comes to emotions, the one thing that I wanted to remember, and that many people I feel struggle to accept, is that no one can make you feel anything, okay? Your emotional responses are entirely yours. No one is inside you creating those feelings. And this isn't about dismissing the pain that others might cause you. That's valid, okay? Let's not confuse the two. Your feelings, your emotions, your pain, your hurt, and how you perceive that others hurt you, it's valid. It's your truth and it's valid. However, you are the only one in the driver's seat of your life. You are the only one in charge of your emotional responses. So this whole thing is about reclaiming your power. Because if you are in charge of your emotions, you are also in charge of your healing. And you get to choose whether you stay in this cycle of blame, of victim mode, of shame and guilt, or break free from all of it. You have something that generations before you may not have had, and that is about awareness, okay? The generations that came before us, they didn't even discuss any of this out loud. They even dared to think about, healing, or even consider some of the traumas we went through as traumas. It was just part of how life was. And was all part of personality, and they had this whole mentality of I'm too old to change. So they didn't have this awareness, but you do. If you're listening to this episode, you have an awareness that many people don't, especially the generations before us. And awareness gives you the opportunity to break the cycles, okay? The cycles of fear, of trauma, of limiting beliefs, of pain that have been passed down to you. You can heal those. You can heal what they could not. And you can heal it for your future generations, which I find it so empowering. And to be honest, this is the fuel of my healing journey. The way I started to heal myself was not so much for me. It was because I never wanted to become the mum my mum was. I never wanted my children to go through what I did. And I decided this ends with me. They don't have to carry my baggage. And you can do the same. One of the things that I started doing, and I do all the time, and it's one of the things that I teach as a trauma-informed coach and as a creator of the Trust Pathway. Each letter of the Trust Pathway refers to something different. So T is for truth, R is for reflection, U is for unravel, S for soul, and the last T for thrive. So the R for reflection is the foundation, is what I use with my clients, is what I use for me since the beginning, and that I still use every single day when it comes to my healing. Because reflection is not just a tool, it's a lifeline. It is the first major step in healing that allows you to uncover insights about yourself, your desires, your fears, your behaviors, and your triggers. When you reflect, you begin to consider the beliefs and the values that you have inherited, the ones you've taken as absolute truths. But reflection also allows you to challenge those truths, okay? So what stories have you been told about who you are? What old family patterns still run through your veins? Because awareness of these stories is the first step towards taking responsibility for them. And when you take responsibility, you can begin to peel back the layers of false core beliefs. You can name them. You can challenge them. You can prove to yourself they are not true, because they are not. You make your beliefs, and your beliefs shape you. So what beliefs are you going to choose for yourself right now? Now that you know, you can unknow this, right? What will you choose? Because when you choose that, you start to break the cycles. And breaking the cycles is about releasing blame. Blame towards your family, blame towards others, and blame towards yourself. When you let go of that blame, you are able to free yourself to heal. You just take this weight out of your shoulders, this huge, heavy backpack that is on your shoulders, weighing you down, slowing you down, keeping you stuck in the past. But I want you to understand as well, this releasing of blame is not about excusing the pain and the hurt and perhaps harmful behavior towards you, okay? Because that's part of your story, that is valid, and I'm not here to say let go of blaming your parents or your caregivers or someone in your life that caused you harm, okay? When I talk about letting go of blame, it's about recognizing that holding on to anger or to shame keeps you tethered to that pain, okay? So what I recommend is to release those emotions. Accept that you have them, okay? Accept that you have anger, that you have frustration, you have shame, and that's why you kept blaming people for what happened to you and for how your life panned out. But then release those emotions in the way that most suits you, the most aligned with you. And do it one layer at a time. Obviously, don't try and do it all at once, because then you go into this emotional overload, and what's going to happen is you're going to trigger your nervous system, which will not feel safe. And then instead of healing, your nervous system will perceive that you are in danger, because you're trying to do this whole, healing thing all at the same time. And so it will go into fight, flight, or freeze response. And when you are in any of those responses, you are in survival mode. You're no longer in a conscious, neutral response from your brain. And that's why we never recommend people to go and do the whole healing all at once, because it has to happen in stages. And it will happen in stages. That's why healing is a lifelong journey, because as you heal and peel a layer, your soul knows, okay, you peel that layer, let's now move to the next stage and go deeper and deeper and deeper. But we do it slowly, not all at the same time, okay? Let yourself cry, let yourself rage, journal, write it down, whatever it takes to help you process and integrate what you've held on to for so long. And one of the tools that I always recommend, and that allows this reflection stage to happen in a more calming way, that doesn't take you into this activating of your nervous system, is journaling. Because it's one of the most powerful and underrated tools. It brings you clarity. It offers you a safe space to name your beliefs, to challenge them, to rewrite the narrative. But it has to be a safe space, okay? Because when you're dealing with this, and when we are trying so hard to heal but not go into survival mode, we have to be in a place that we feel safe to talk about these emotions, okay? To go to that place, to go to that past that might still waken a lot of emotions in us. And this is with anything, this is with any practice you use, such as journaling, but also when you choose someone to work with. Might be a psychotherapist, might be a coach, might be a healer. The first thing you need to make sure is that you feel safe around that person. You feel safe in that energy, okay? So journaling offers you that safe space. And then write about that pain. Write about your fears, your hopes. Let it all pour out unfiltered and untouched onto the paper. And as you do, remember that healing is not about perfection. It's not about being perfect. It's not about enlightenment. It is about progress. It's about stepping into the awareness that you are not your wounds. You are not your fears. And you're certainly not your beliefs. Okay? As we close this episode, I invite you to take one step today towards reflection. Give it a go. Find a quiet moment, okay? And ask yourself, what beliefs about myself no longer serve me? What family stories or societal expectations have I carried for too long? What emotions have I bottled up? And how can I release them safely? And as the answers come to you, just write it down, okay? Just let it flow onto the paper. Don't try and overthink it. Don't think of grammar mistakes or if your spelling or your handwriting seems messy. It doesn't matter. Just let it flow, because when you are in that flow, that's when you're connecting with your soul. That's when you're connecting with your truth. And then sit with it. Allow the answers to unfold without judgment and allow the information to percolate. Just sit with those emotions, sit with that information. And when you're ready, read it back. When you're done, just read it back to yourself, because you might have breakthroughs out of just, a session of writing. It's quite amazing. And this is the beginning of your healing journey. So remember that reflection is not a luxury. It is a necessity. It is a foundation of healing, because through it, you gain the awareness and the courage to face your fears, to rewrite your story, to step into the truth of who you really are without ignoring your emotions, bypassing them, bottling them up, and then saying affirmations just for the sake of saying it, okay? Just give it a go, give it a try. And you already taken the first step just by tuning into this episode today. So the next steps are yours, okay? They are yours to take. As I said at the beginning, you are at the driver's seat of your life. No one can make you feel anything. No one can write your story for you. You do. You have that power. And if you'd like some more guidance on this, on how to journal, I have a workshop, Journaling to Find Yourself, available. It teaches you how you can use journaling to find these beliefs, find the ones from the past, what fears are keeping you stuck, what of the core beliefs are related to those fears of, being rejected, being abandoned, feeling unworthy because you don't feel you deserve happiness or to be successful, and then you fear being successful or being fear unsuccessful. All of these things that we unconsciously have and is kind of ruling our lives. This course is really great. And if you only have the course, I will put the link on the show notes for you. But I also have another offer for you. So I only have one Trust Journaling Deck available. just one, and it's the last of the lasts. I'm not reordering any more stock. So this is it. So if you'd like to purchase the LAST T.R.U.S.T Journaling Deck, which I use on all my podcast episodes at the end, and I have so many happy clients that use this consistently in their healing journeys, and even with their clients, I will leave the link in the show notes for you. And if you buy the deck, I will gift you the Journaling to Find Yourself workshop. It is worth £30 and I'll gift it to you as a late Christmas present. Take it that way. Because it's the last one, and I just feel it's the perfect marriage between these two tools that you can use and start your healing journey today. We are starting another year. What are you going to do differently this year? Are you allowing the same fears, stories, pains, hurts, worries that have been ruling your life up until now to carry on ruling your life? Or are you taking the power back? Are you taking the steering wheel now and decide, no, I'm driving the car now. I'm driving my life now. Enough is enough. Because if that is your spirit now, if that is what you want, this is your permission. This episode, this conversation is your permission. And my invitation to you is use this deck or use this journaling workshop or both, and let's start your healing journey. So without further ado, and before I let you go, I'll pull a card from said T.R.U.S.T Journaling Deck, and let's see what comes up today. It will be interesting to know what comes up, because normally any card that I pull is just so in tune with the conversation. So let's see. I'm already feeling a lot of energy. Ooh, love it. And the card that I pull is from the Soul Suite. And the Soul Inquiry is, what would happen if I decided to love and embrace all of me? What would happen if I decided to love and embrace all of me? And the affirmation is, I am a beacon of love and light. My loves, I'll leave it with it. I will leave this beautiful soul inquiry with you, and you can perhaps reflect on it, journal on it, and see what comes up. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode was helpful, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for listening to the Soulcery Podcast and for holding space for this conversation. It is truly magical to be able to walk with you on this journey of soul healing and inner transformation. If you resonated with this episode and found it valuable, I would be grateful if you could leave a review on iTunes. Your feedback helps me reach more souls searching for guidance and healing. For more guidance and soul wisdom to support soul awakening women through the journey of alchemy, please visit my website www.lijacosta.co.uk. Love and healing to all. See you on the next one.